Your Damascus Road. As he journeyed, he came near Damascus, and suddenly a light shone around him from heaven. Acts 9:3. Saul of Tarsus was about to have his name, mission, and life changed forever. He had his way for years persecuting Christians in the name of God. He was zealous for Yahweh in the wrong way. God had plans for him. Then he fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to him, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Acts 9:4. That moment came. Saul was knocked off his high horse and blinded. A dreadful event destined for glory. This proud, high-minded, Christian-hating Pharisee encountered the living God in the middle of the road. Imagine that terrifying scene. Brilliant light, horse rearing up, Saul flung to the ground. And then he hears a voice saying, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" Saul knew something supernatural was happening, but what and why? Saul considered himself an extraordinary servant of the Most High. And he said, "Who are you, Lord?" Then the Lord said, "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. It is hard for you to kick against the goads." Acts 9:5. Saul knew it was God, but still he asked, "Who are you, Lord?" Then the words came, confirming it was God, but specifically Jesus, the Messiah. Imagine Saul hearing the Lord tell him that he was actually persecuting Jesus Christ. Everything Saul lived for changed that instant. He would never be the same. What now? Maybe Saul thought God was about to destroy him on the spot. Jesus basically tells Saul that it's hard to resist God's prodding, the goads. Saul was doing just that, kicking against God's mission and plans for Christians. So he, trembling and astonished, said, "Lord, what do you want me to do?" Then the Lord said to him, "Arise and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do." Acts 9:6. Saul gets it. He immediately submits to whatever the Lord has next for him. The Lord gives Saul a directive without much explanation. A few verses later, the Lord tells Ananias that Saul is God's chosen vessel and he has plans for Saul. Then God says to Ananias in Acts 9:16, "For I will show him how many things he must suffer for my name's sake." We all come to our Damascus road in this life. Some experience many grueling, life-changing encounters with God. Many come to those forks in the road of life. Damascus roads usually come just before we are saved or return to God after a period of disobedience to Him. Either way, God uses these dramatic times in our lives to get right with Him, to choose Him, to be used mightily by Him. Are you kicking against the goads today? Have you wandered away from God so much that you have become a persecutor of the brethren? God could be trying to get your attention through your desperate circumstances. Turn back. Return to Him. Stop persecuting Him. He loves you and wants to use you. He has great things in store for you if you let Him. Your Damascus road will hurt. Pain is involved in getting right with God. You may have to suffer the consequences of your actions. Whatever you did to others or yourself to bring you to this place, God will see you through. Don't be surprised if you have to suffer much for Christ after your Damascus road. Saul, the Christian-hating Pharisee, turned into the Apostle Paul by God Almighty, did. He suffered much for Christ in spreading the gospel. This man had more fervor and zealousness for God than ever after his conversion experience that day. He went through a waiting, training stretch before going full, all out for the Lord to his dying day. Don't waste your Damascus Road opportunities to serve Jesus more than ever. You may not be in the middle of your Damascus Road with the Lord today. Yours may be over or yet to come. Use your previous life-changing encounters with God to come along others and help them. Come alongside another brother or unbeliever turning to God in their Damascus Road experience today. Comfort them. You may have another Saul turning Paul before you. Be the Lord's appointed Ananias to him today.